It's time for our model predictions for Week 15. In Week 14, the model went 9-5, that's 64% win rate, and 3-2 on my best bets. Now, one of my viewers asked me for my overall record for this model so far this season, and I'm very happy to oblige. Here's the model record since Week 10. Week 10, it went 5-9, kind of a rough start, but in Week 11, it went amazing 12-3. In Week 12, it went 6-7-1. There was a one push there. I don't count pushes since that's refunding your money. And then in Week 13, it went 10-6. I previously reported that it went 9-7 in Week 13. That was the Thanksgiving weekend, but I was wrong about that. I went back to look at my spreadsheet, and the model went 10-6. And it went 9-5 last week in Week 14. Overall, it's 42-30 for a 58.3% win rate. And that's predicting the spread for every single game each week. Now, I have to mention something here. In Week 10, when I first started using this model, I did not weight games based on the week, but then I quickly added that to the model. So starting in Week 11, the model actually weights recent games more heavily. So Week 10 games are more important than Week 1 games. And looking at the record since Week 11, the last 4 weeks in NFL, the model went 37-21 for a 63.4% win rate. As anyone knows who does any kind of sports betting, that's huge. Anytime you hit over 60% for spread bets, you're doing great. Look at the weeks, 80% in Week 11, 46 in Week 12, and 62.5 and 64.3 in Week 13 and 14. So I'm very happy with this model and its performance in the last 4 weeks. Now what I want to show you here is a prediction of the week for Week 14. The model on Monday night picked the Chargers to win 22-20 over the Eagles, and the actual score was 22-19. So it only missed by 1 point. It got the Chargers score exactly and only missed the Eagles by 1 point. Now I know that was a crazy game, but this was my best bet, the Chargers plus 3.0 at home, and that one obviously hit. Let's get to the model predictions for Week 15. For the Thursday night, the Bucs are 5.5 point favorites at home. The model thinks the Bucs are going to win 23-21, so it picks the Falcons to cover a 5.5 point spread on the road. With 44 total points, it would pick over 43.5. I know the Bucs really need this game to get to the playoffs, but Baker Mayfield is injured. He's not looking too good lately, and the Falcons have a great rush defense. So I could definitely see them covering the spread here on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we have a trend alert for this game. This game qualifies as what we call revenge games. Teams that lost as home favorites against divisional opponents earlier in the year cover the spread at a rate of 60% in the revenge game. That's game number 2. And the Falcons were 1 point favorites. So that was way back in Week 1 against the Bucs when they lost at home. So I'm glad I'm picking the Falcons plus 5.5 here to cover the spread. In the first 1 o'clock game here, we have the Chiefs minus 5.5 point favorites at home against the Chargers. The Chiefs are another desperate team here. They need to win this game in order to make the playoffs. And model thinks they're going to win 23-18. So it picks the Chargers to cover 5.5 point spread on the road against the Chiefs. With 41 total points, it would pick under 41.5. Now, while the Chiefs might actually win this game, the Chargers are not going to lay down, and they definitely see a chance to knock down their divisional rival and ruin their playoff chances. For that reason, this is my first best bet of this video, the Chargers plus 5.5 points to cover the spread on the road against the Chiefs. The next game, we have the Jets on the road against the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 13.5 point favorites at home. That's a big spread there. And the model thinks the Jags are going to win 29-14, so it thinks they're going to cover the spread here. So the model picks the Jaguars minus 13.5 at home. The Jaguars are surging. They're leading the AFC South, and both their offense and defense are above the league average. So I think they easily get it done here against the Jets, and this is my second best bet of this video. With 43 total points, it picks over 41.5. And the next game, which I consider the game of the week here, the Patriots are 1.5 point underdogs at home against the Bills. And the model thinks the Patriots are going to win 23-22, so it picks the Patriots plus 1.5 to cover the spread at home. And I couldn't agree more. I know a lot of people are on the Bills here. I think Josh Allen's going to be Superman and get the job done. But I think the Patriots are just a better team. And I think they're going to take being underdogs at home personally and come out strong against the Bills and actually win this game. With 45 total points, they go under 49.5. But guess what? This is another revenge game. That's right. The Bills lost as home favorites to the Patriots in Week 5. But so while this trend would pick the Bills to cover the spread, I'm not going to do that personally. I like the Patriots here plus 1.5. The next game, the Texans are 9.5 point favorites at home against the Cardinals. And the model thinks the Texans are going to win 23-16. So it picks the Cardinals plus 9.5 to cover the spread on the road. Of course, the Texas defense is amazing, but maybe Jacoby Brissett's going to complete 46 passes, set a new NFL record, and at least cover the spread for the Cardinals. With 39 total points, it would pick under 42.5. In the next game, we have another amazing divisional game where the Ravens has 2.5 point favorites on the road against the Bengals. Now, 3 or 4 weeks ago, this would have been a no-brainer, but the Bengals are surging. They got Joe Burrow back, but the model thinks the Ravens are going to win 27-25. So it picks the Bengals plus 2.5 to cover the spread at home. With 52 total points, it would pick over 51.5. But hold on a second, another revenge games here. The Ravens lost as home favorites to the Bengals in Week 13. That was Joe Burrow's first game back for the Bengals. That was just 2 weeks ago. But again, I like the Bengals here to cover the spread at home. And this is my 4th best bet of this video. In the next game, the Bears are 7.5 point favorites at home against the Browns. The model thinks the Bears are going to win 26-18. So it picks the Bears to cover 7.5 point spread at home. With 44 total points, to go over 39. Now, I got to say something here. There's going to be a lot of very cold, frigid games outdoors, both in the North and the East Coast. So if that affects these players in any way, I can see this being a closer game, and I can see the Browns covering the spread on the road. but the model's picking the Bears. In the next game, the Eagles are 11.5-point favorites at home against the Raiders. I don't know if the Eagles should be double-digit favorites against any team in the NFL. And the model agrees. It thinks the Eagles are going to win 23-14, so it picks the Raiders plus 11.5 on the road against the Eagles. With 37 total points, it'll go under 38.5. In the next game, the Giants are 2.5-point favorites at home against the Commanders. I was really high on the Commanders last week. That was one of my best bets, and they laid an egg. But now that Mariota's back at quarterback, I actually think they're a better team. But the model picks the Giants to win 25-20 and cover a 2.5-point spread at home. With 45 total points, would pick under 46.5. In the next game, the Rams are 6-point favorites at home against the Lions, and the model thinks the Rams are going to win 20-21. So it picks the Rams to cover a 6-point spread at home against the Lions. We all know the Lions are weak in their secondary, and I think Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua light it up at home against the Lions. I'd like to make this the best bet, but the spread line is too close to the model prediction. With 49 total points, to go under 54.5. In the next game, the Panthers are 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Saints, and the model picks the Panthers to win 20-17. So it picks the Panthers to cover a 2.5-point spread on the road. With 37 total points, to go under 40.5. And this is the fourth revenge game. That's right. In Week 10, the Panthers were home favorites against the Saints, and they lost that game. And the Panthers are really fighting for that divisional crown against the Bucs. So I'm very happy to pick the Panthers minus 2.5 to cover the spread on the road against the Saints. In the next game, the Packers are 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Broncos. And the model picks the Packers to win 23-22, so it picks the Broncos plus 2.5 at home to cover the spread. These are two excellent defenses. And if you've been tracking the Packers, they've not been doing so well on the road. So I'd like to pick the Broncos plus 2.5 to cover the spread at home. With 45 total points, they'll go over 42.5. In the next game, the 49ers are 12.5-point favorites at home against the Titans. And the model thinks the 49ers are going to win 26-16. So it picks the Titans plus 12.5 to cover the spread on the road. That's just a really big number. And the way the Titans have been playing lately, they might just backdoor the 49ers and cover the spread here. With 42 total points, they'll go under 44.5. In the next game, the Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites at home against the Colts. Now, the Colts are reeling now. They lost Daniel Jones for the season. And the Seahawks are really strong at home, both on offense and defense. So while I can see the Seahawks covering the spread here, the Colts have a secret weapon. He's called Old Man Rivers. No, I don't know if he's even going to play this week. I think Riley Leonard's still going to be the starter. But the Colts still have Jonathan Taylor and multiple offensive weapons. And 13.5 points is a big number. The model predicts the Seahawks to win 29-21, so it picks the Colts plus 13.5 to cover the spread on the road. With 50 total points, it picks well over 42.5. In the Sunday night game, the Cowboys 5.5-point favorites at home against the Vikings. The Vikings actually looked pretty good last week against the Commanders, but the Commanders have really poor defense, and the Cowboys, even though they have a bad defense, play better at home. But the model predicts the Cowboys to win 27-25, so it picks the Vikings to cover a 5.5-point spread on the road. With 52 total points, it goes over 47.5. And finally, for the Monday night game, the Steelers are 3.5-point favorites at home against the Dolphins, and the model predicts the Steelers to win 20-18, so it picks the Dolphins plus 3.5 cover spread on the road. The Dolphins are surging right now, and while the Steelers looked pretty good last week in Week 14, I think the Dolphins might cover spread once again in very cold weather. With 38 total points, they'll go under 41.5. And that's the final prediction for Week 15. Hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck in Week 15. Let's go!